Hey, how you doing? How's your part of the world? How's your tiny little sliver of the world? Is it keeping you warm? Is it keeping you cozy? I would hope so. That's what everybody's essentially looking for, right? Everybody's just looking for a little slice to curl up with some loved ones, have a good meal, maybe watch a good movie, play a good game, share a few laughs, tell a few stories. I think at the end of the day, that's all humans are looking for: connection. That's what that is. Connection. When you don't have it, or you feel like it's been taken from you, or you don't know how to connect, uh, you get the world we're living in. But can you feel it? Can you? There's hope and change abound. We're going to discuss on tonight's live stream. Sorry, I'm a little late. I don't know if you knew this, but Verizon had major malfunctions today. Crazy. Knocking out everyone's internets and webs, the webbers, the streams, everything. So we're doing it a little late. Hopefully we can cover everything. I have so much for you, and everything I decided to talk about is down in the description below. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you could join me this late. Or maybe it's early for you. Or maybe it's tomorrow for you. What year is it? Nobody knows. Um, But if you want to watch the stuff that I'm going to play for you, you can always go link down below. Slarson, what's up? Good to see you, Slarson. Good to see you. And as the family members start to roll in, as my revolutionaries, my resistors, the coalition of comrades start to roll in, I was going to play some music because I have YouTube. Listen, Bunkbed Coffin, the local artist here on YouTube, he gave me authority. He granted me the authority of the grunge gods. Brang! That was a pretend guitar I was playing. Sorry, it's late. I'm wicked tired. My back's killing me. Oh shit. Uh, but Bunk Bed Coffin, if you have never heard of this artist and you like 90s grunge, highly recommend go check out Bunk Bed Coffin. I forgot to put him in the link below. Uh, What's up, Karen? Good to see you. Good to see you, Karen. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for saying hi. Yeah, and where are you from in the world? I love hearing where people from. Don't give me your address. We got fucking brown shirts on the streets knocking people's doors in. So don't share your address, but where in the world are you at? What time is it for you? It's almost 11 o'clock here. East Coast time. Does East Coast set the standard? What's like the standard world clock time? Is it ocean time? I would imagine somewhere in the ocean. Anyways, so while we allow the family members to roll in, let me introduce you to one of my favorite artists on YouTube. I hope this dude blows up. It's not Jesse Wells, Slarson. Holy shit, $10, Slarson. Wow. I just need to take a minute to thank Slarson because that is absolutely radical of you. In case you don't know, I don't know if you call me independent media or independent media, I guess. Not so much journalism. Listen, I got a degree. I can do the journalism thing. Just not my style. I like commenting on the news, being a sarcastic, being a wise ass. Or in here in New England, we call ourselves massholes. That means we have usually a dry, sarcastic humor, and we have no problem getting in somebody's face when they start to bark. Um, so that's kind of my style of the news. And if yous like the news like I do's, then hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. And if you can support the channel like Slarson did, I never expect it, but this channel is fully funded by viewers like you. And Slarson, you support this channel so much. Uh, I'm very, very grateful. I'm always just amazed, man, because I hate taking, or when I worked in radio, I would hate taking money to take money from corporations. And then I made it my duty as I got older in radio to only take money that I truly valued the company, valued what I was talking about, believed in it. I wasn't just trying to sell you, zoo egg crypto rug pulls like Logan Paul. That's why I despise those people, because they'll sell you poop in a bag and tell you, it's worth gold. And I'll never do that. In fact, I'm very proud to be able to say my beliefs on this channel and keep it like that. I'm not altered. I'm not forced to give you a narrative because of money. So this channel is fully supported by viewers like you. Slarson, I appreciate you and thank you for the comment. Appreciate your work. Thank you. Anyone got $1? I wish I did. Because again, that money goes through YouTube and then comes to me. Who said Sasha? Are you talking about, give me 1 second. Where is it? Where is it? Hold on. Did I not do the links on my thing? Hold on. I'm ready for the news, but hold on. Let me hit. This is Bunk Bed Coffin. Okay, let's listen to some music while some people roll in. I know it's late, but Bunk Bed Coffin, amazing artist here on YouTube. Please check him out. Once the live is done, go search Bunk Bed, like you sleep in when you're younger, and then Coffin, like you sleep in when you're older. Like you sleep in permanently, I should have said. Bunk Bed Coffin, one of my favorite artists. And when you go see him and listen to his music, you know, drop my like, drop my comment, say, hey man, Rob was playing your stuff again, because he gave me the power of authority of the grunge gods to play this on YouTube, so YouTube don't be a dick. Here. And listen, when it's a chilly, rainy, cold, grungy night and you just got to put on that flannel, this is to listen to. Smells of smoke and memories Hold on. I'm going to read Slarson. I'm grateful for people whose work spreading the truth. Our support of your message that is teaching America what is really happening is absolutely vital. Slarson, for our children. I know you said my children, but for our children, for our grandchildren, to live in a land that was once considered free, to live in a land that people created and it's been absolutely dismantled. This pervert, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, has absolutely dismantled any kind of checks and balance, any kind of freedom. It's one authority by his divine power, which very much sounds like the king we had to fucking revolute against before. But yes, Larson, and I'll never stop talking about this, and I will always keep pushing it. I don't give a shit if it's live on YouTube or shut up, Liberty Mutual. Shut your fucking hole. Did I say you could talk? I don't give a shit. Shut your hole. Sorry about that. Earmuffs, kids. Earmuffs. They're not gonna play an ad on my thing without it being on my thing, because I think they play ads here. Who knows? But yes, Larson, it's very, very, very important and vital for our children, especially when, you know, my heart is just with Minneapolis. I know Karen said somebody else was shot there. Alma reminds me of Kurt Cobain. Yeah, that was Bunk Bed Coffin. Why do I always do that? Bunk Bed Coffin. He very much has the soul and spirit of Kurt. God rest Kurt Cobain. Heard they are alive. That's good. But this is what I mean. We have Nazis on the street, folks. Make no mistake. Nazis. Absolute Nazi tyrants. It makes me feel like this. Bees! Sorry. Just kidding. These are Nazi tyrants that, look, I'm going to play this video for you, but they have sayings like this. One of ours, all of yours. Not a Nazi slogan, but a fascist slogan. A fully authoritarian slogan, meaning if you hurt one of ours, we'll hurt all of yours, which is interesting because it's the opposite of what I believe in, what I preach, and what I've stood for on the front lines against corporate exploitation. If you don't know, I am a labor organizer, and I will never rest until these corporations are run out of the country or taxed at 100%. You know, we should demand that the workers get to own these things and let the CEO leave. You know, the CEOs hate to be taxed. They all threaten, oh, if you tax me, I'll have to leave. Get the fuck out. Leave. That's not a joke, CEOs. Kick rocks. Go to Ibiza and stay there. We don't want you. We don't need you. You poison our water, our air, our homes, our food, everything. And then you think we're going to be grateful? We'll never be grateful for the shitty jobs you create. When people go, oh, they're job creators. What kind of jobs are they creating? I don't know anyone that works one job anymore. I was just talking with a coworker today. She's going for her third job. She's not even 25. Unreal. And all she wants to do is go to school, and she can't do that. It's just surreal. So, oh, hold on, my back. Before we get to, you know, this pick me bitch, I need to update you because this is the More You Know segment. Remember the American government used to run PSAs, remember? It didn't look like this. It didn't say the more you know like this. But it had the little star and it would go, the more you know. Hold on, I'm gonna find it. Hold on. Give me a second. Here it is. Oh, I should put that, oh my God. Wasn't that nice? If you're an elder millennial, that just tingled your insides, in like a friendly, nostalgic way. Don't be a creep. Don't be an old Epstein Trump. You know. We used to have public service messages in America. It was adorable. You know, they'd be like, "Hey, smoking crack isn't good for you." It was awesome. They'd be like, hey, when you get home from school, don't get in that van with Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein when they're offering you free candy. And it would be like Joey from Blossom or something. Whoa. Remember that guy? Anyways, before we get to some of the stuff we're going to get to, some of the videos I'm going to play for you, I need to update you because good friend of mine and one of the greatest American activists today. You might know him as Jeffrey Epstein the Giraffe, Jeffrey the Giraffe. I know him as Robby Road Steamer. He was taken for a second time by ICE. He was doing nothing. You can watch the video, I linked it down below. He was literally protesting by singing great tunes, parody songs, at ICE, and they slammed this dude on the ground. Second time. First time he was shot with the pepper balls and they arrested him. This time they took him, you know, because they're fragile little pride boys. They're fragile little pride boys. By the way, did you see the leaks? Somebody leaked all the people that are working for, or not all, but a good amount of people who are working for ICE. And wouldn't you know, Enrique Tarrio is one of ICE's members. You remember him. He was the snitch rat bitch who was the leader of the Proud Boys. And then he snitched on all his friends. I can't believe this guy's alive. You know what I mean? But it just shows there's no honor among Pride Boys. Absolutely none. They're just all sniveling rats. And they're all ready to jump ship as soon as they understand that I was just following orders doesn't qualify as a defense. Footnote Nuremberg. But did you guys see that leak? We'll talk about it later. But Enrique Tarrio, the leader of the Proud Boys, the snitch ass bitch who ratted on everyone. I can't believe this dude's alive. Like, that's crazy, man. Yeah. So the Proud Boys are ICE. It's been confirmed. But let's hear from Robby. I got a couple videos. I told you the other night when he first got arrested. I reported that. So now I just want to follow up with you. Robby has made a few more videos. He's out, he's free, he's healing.
It's Robby Roadsteamer. I just want to thank everybody for their support after my 20-on-1 battle royal against Ice.
Robby is one of the greatest activists, comedians of our day. Ice came out in full force, and Robby turned it into a 20-on-1 versus Robby versus Ice. He is a goddamn legend. You put respect on Robby's name when you talk about it.
Yesterday in Minnesota, I am safe, I am healthy, I am ready to sue Ice in Minnesota for tackling me and abusing me. I hurt my leg, I hurt my arm, I hurt my back. The guy put me in a chicken wing. All over a traffic infraction. That's what they wrote the citation for. I was blocking traffic along with 100 protesters, but they just decided to arrest me. All good. We're gonna sue them. I want to thank Jolly Ginger, Echo Romeo for giving me an escort out of that damn place. It's all about love, man. We're in this together. We're all doing this to fight for the spirit of Renee Nicole Good. God bless.
Amazing. And then Robby posted again. If you don't follow Robby on YouTube, please go do that. Friend of the show, amazing American activist. I would say Robby is in full display of what America, this is the spirit of America right here. You know, if we can fucking redo the animal of America, we should have it be Robby as Jeffrey Epstein the draft. I'm sure all the billionaires and all the people in the White House right now would be fine with that. They're protecting all these PDF files, you know. They still haven't released the Epstein files. Do it. Was it Sasha Gray or I forget who? Sasha something. I can't believe I didn't post. I'm so tired. I didn't, I just didn't, I wasn't thinking. Sasha Riley, that's it. Oh, I did have it up. Gee, I did have it up. I'm so tired. Yep, the audio attributed to Sasha Riley is going viral online. Now listen, I had read about this earlier in the week. I hadn't wanted to talk about it yet. This is really horrific stuff. Really horrific. So I don't know how much we're going to get into, but I did link an article where you can find audio, the whole story down below. I highly recommend you get into it. There's nothing more pressing than having the Epstein files come out. That's why you see this authoritarian fascist power grab by these pedo protectors. That's why you're seeing, you know, the invasion of the world, the invasion of American cities and homes. It's all because Donald Trump was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein and he's trying to hide it. They still haven't released the files and he'll do anything to keep it out of the news because there are some heinous things in those files about your queen, Chief McQueef, Donald Epstein Trump. So yeah. Oh, my back, my back, my back. So yeah, if you didn't know, check out the link below about Sasha Riley. And stay away from Donald Trump. And don't bring your kids around him. But Robby gets out. Robby Roadsteamer, seen here, Jeffrey the Giraffe. He is the American spirit. If we can, that's what I was saying. If we can change the eagle, I think it should be changed to Robby as the giraffe. Because he embodies America. He's out at all the protests. He's on the front lines, sticking up and showing out for what freedom is. The right to assemble, the right to address the government for grievances, exercising his freedom of speech in beautiful song format. I mean, he truly embodies the spirit of America. There should be a statue in Massachusetts along Route 1 in the North Shore when Robby, you know, comes home, because this guy is an absolute legend. He's doing more than any Democrat in Congress right now. Prove me wrong. Because, you know, the Republicans are just MAGA pedo protectors. That's it. And I keep saying pedo protectors, just, you know, because TJ something, a Ford worker, when Donald Trump went to the Ford motor plant, this guy TJ yelled out, "Pedophile protector," and Donald Trump flipped him off and said, "F you." So you know it triggered him. He was triggered. He couldn't ignore it. He couldn't just not address it. And then he said to TJ, "You're fired." And Ford caved and fired a worker. A worker. You thought Donald Trump was for workers? He walked into a Ford plant and someone just said the truth to him and he said, fuck you, you're fired. That's your working class president. Absolute horseshit, if you ask me. But Robby posted another video I'm going to play for you now because MAGA is coming out of the woodwork because they're sensitive little bitches to threaten him. So let's get some attention on this.
MAGA boys and ball washers of ICE sending death threats now. Got this one coming in. I'll get what's coming to me really soon. Love, Nerf, Eric. And he also sent this really disgusting mural of Renee Nicole Good. I'm not even gonna show you. You wanna get at me? Come down to Minnesota, bro. I'm there all week, man. Let's dance, all right? I'm out here fighting for freedom, wearing my giraffe onesie, fighting for marginalized people against ICE, and you're shit-talking on a keyboard in your in-law mother's basement apartment while you go at yourself afterwards to Nick Squirrely videos. I also get a lot of message. I worry about you. Please be careful. Don't worry about me. I'm out there fighting for freedom. Worried about the 15 million people that couldn't get off their asses and vote in the last election. Worry about all the millions of people that are just fighting with their activism on Facebook posts. Worry about them. Don't worry about people actually being mobilized, fighting for freedom and fighting for this country before it's gone. What a mess.
Love Robby. I love Robby so much. He's an absolute blessing to this world. Absolute blessing. Hold on. Lion Man saw my picture and I guess he thinks I'm illegal. Who's Lion Man? Let's just... Oh, Alma's here. I'm sure Alma probably got Lion Man out of here. Yeah. If there's these ICE posers in the chat, just let us know. And my mods are really good. I love my mods. Much respect to the mods. Alma, good to see you, by the way. I agree the protest angle, but you are protesting for non-Americans. Shut your fucking face, non-Americans. They're arresting Americans. You twat. Shut up. Goddamn, McGruff. Holy crap. Shut up. You're not an American either. The only Americans are the fucking natives. That's it. So shut your hole. I'm so sick of this shit. Acting like you're a fucking native. Fuck you. I'm tired of it. Anyone that comes here for a better life is fucking worth it, man. You know who's not worth it? The pedos in the fucking White House. That's who's not worth it. Plain and simple. You want law and order? Let's start with the criminals at the top. The ones who have affected the most lives. Most of these people are just coming in here looking for a better life, mostly because the CIA and the US have cooed their government, destabilized, and forced them out. Turn their homes into a narco state. What would you do? I hate when people are like, oh, they're non-American, they're illegal. Shut up the fuck up. Unless you're, listen, and respect to all my native indigenous friends. One of my good friends who's indigenous just passed away. And I'll miss him terribly. But unless you're indigenous, don't talk to me about fucking immigrants, all right? Don't. You shut the fuck up and just be thankful that this ICE shit wasn't happening when your grandparents were coming here, okay? Or great-grandparents or parents, or I don't give a shit. Stop. The only threat to our democracy, understand this clearly, the only threat to our democracy is the corporate capitalist elitists, who is Donald Trump. And they mostly are pedo protectors. That's the only threat. Did you see the EPA? They just announced they're not going to consider human lives when regulating businesses. When they're going to build a smogstack next to your home, they're not going to consider if it gives you cancer. That's what Donald Trump's EPA just announced. They just announced that we're going to carve out these regulations for business profit. We don't care if they put smokestacks right next to your home and smoke you out. That's what Donald Trump is allowing. This is libertarianism. Small government for regulations, big government to enforce what they want. I just need, you know what? If you don't get it, I need you to go buy a Rage Against the Machine album and just listen to it a few times. I need you to catch up. Because if you think it's poor people that are threatening you, you are a moron. There is maybe no help for you. If you can't understand that it's not the poor people coming into the country that make a housing crisis, but it's BlackRock that is buying entire neighborhoods. If you can't understand that the immigrants are not making your fucking pay worse, it's the greed of the shareholders and the corporate CEO pay packages. If you can't understand that, you are part of the problem, and get out of the way. Shut up and be obedient, like Donald Trump wants you to be. Now, we do have some stuff to cover. Just remember, this is Donald Trump with his young daughter next to Jeffrey Epstein, because they were all good friends and they did heinous things together. The most heinous things. Salute to Sasha Riley for coming and speaking out to that British Columbia or Canadian journalist. If you haven't heard this stuff, good God, man. Good God. And if you're supporting this pedo protector and pedo himself, good God, leave the chat. Just get out. Just get out. But for the rest of my comrades, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Slarson, again, thank you for the $10 super chat. I appreciate you. Timbo, here we go. Quote, if you're worried about someone lower on the social economic scale, you are being manipulated by someone higher on the social economic scale. I don't know who said that quote, but that's a good one. That is a good one, Timbo. I appreciate you, man. All right, let's, where was my... So again, if you guys can help the channel, you hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm live every single weekday. If you want to support the channel, because I don't take corporate money, I'm not going to feed you some bullshit narrative. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. It's a class war. If you ever seen Tim Pool and his podcast, the Pool Cast or whatever, the Cool Kids No Hair Cast, you'll see he'll always put up culture war. That is a distraction. He wants you paying attention to books and M&Ms and thinking that will magically make the fucking wealth gap disappear. He's paid by Russia. He's here to fucking sow divide and mislead you. I will never do that. I've fought on the front lines against these fucking corporate lobbyists and against these exploitive capitalists every single day for years now. And I will tell you exactly who the fuck they are. And I will always show you the loopholes in these little stories, just like that one with the EPA. That's no joke. I didn't take a picture of it because this is what it is, folks. Maybe I should, because I got to teach people. You got to remember, not everybody is not a moron. You know, there's a lot of morons in America. You got to remember that, Rob. There's a lot of people that voted for Donald Trump thinking he cared. We saw him all over the news last year. Dear sir, I'm going to lose my farm. I thought you loved me. Oh, no, Donald Trump might like your little daughter, but he don't care about you. So send your kids and all your money and lose your home, asshole. You guys put us here. Now we're on the brink of, I don't know, revolution. Like, what's it going to take? We're not voting our way out of this, guys, just so you know. There's no voting out of this. And who are you going to vote for? The Democrats? What are they doing? Have they done anything? Anything? I'm voting for Minneapolis. I want Minneapolis to be president next year. All those people are more American than Donald Trump ever has been. And they have more courage than he even could fucking read about. But this video, what's this guy's name again? Oh, that's Rich. Very, very talented man. Very smart dude. We're a nation of C and D students. Wellesley, I would say that's being generous, you know? I would say it's a bunch of F students, and some of them just got passed along to graduate. But that's generous of you saying C and D students. There was some stat I read the other day that was like, most Americans don't read above a 5th grade level. And I thought, holy shit, that can't be true. Like, maybe that's why they cheered when Donald Trump was like, we're getting rid of education. They were like, yeah, let's be as dumb as we could be. I'll never get that, you know? Whether you have kids or not, I don't know. For me, I'm like, who do you look up to? Smart people, right? Of course, because stupid people think Ben Shapiro is a smart person. Stupid people think Jordan Peterson's a smart person, but smart people know these people are frauds. So it just explains so much in the levels of how we got here. You know, when you got young men thinking Joe Rogan is just a curious, weed smoking everyman who asks questions, and then don't realize he's just a fucking billionaire puppet for Peter Thiel and Donald Trump. As much as he's going to go on his podcast nowadays and go, wow, I don't know if we should have armed men on the street kicking in doors. It's like, then fucking do something, Joe. You know, stop questioning this. We're already in the moment. It's already been happening. Like, where you have billions of dollars, you're fucking padded from anyone in society ever seeing you, and you ensure that you never have to mix and mingle with common folk. Like, just, you know, use your platform for fucking good for once, you know? Text Donald Trump. Don't you have his number? You know, like, Jesus Christ, these people are idiots. And then people look up to Joe and think, you know, he's an unbiased, smart man. No. Listen, if you want advice about like what temperature you want an ice bath, yeah, I guess he's smart in that. Anything else, I would say, Joe, stay the fuck in your lane. Ice baths. Well, let's listen to Rich.
Videos about this, but no major news outlets are covering it, so we have to talk about it now. I know I'm not the only one who saw the Y'all Kata pick me standing behind the podium.
He called her the Y'all Kata pick me. The Y'all Kata pick me. Rich, I love Rich.
I'm saying one of ours, all of yours, and thought that's some cryptic shit. It's probably evil. So let's talk about where this comes from and why the context is so important. This quote stands for the concept of collective punishment for those who oppose authoritarian rule. It literally means if you take one of ours, we take all of yours. But it also implies in terms of human value, one of ours is worth more than all of yours. While I've seen videos that link this to alleged slogans from 1940s Germany and 1930s Spain, not been able to validate any historical origin for this exact quote or any kind of linguistic variation. Getting hung up on whether or not it links to some worst part of human history really distracts from the point of why it's so fucked up for it to be on the podium here. Because regardless of the exact slogan, the idea of collective punishment goes back as far as human history is recorded. Collective punishment is really nothing more than an authoritarian framework to flip the idea of justice on its head, to where justice is not about protecting individual liberty, but about delivering systemic oppression. In modern history, collective punishment did peak in World War II, where every member of the Axis to some degree used it as a sledgehammer in their imperial conquests. And because collective punishment was exposed as a grave violation of human rights, it was banned in international law after World War II, not only in conflicts with other countries, but domestically too. This very concept is why blanket warrants are illegal in the United States. You cannot punish a group for the illegal actions of an individual. The reason it's so incredibly fucked up in this specific situation is because, yeah, it's one thing for DHS to tell foreign organizations like cartels or terror groups, if you harm one American, we hold your group accountable. But Kristi Noem standing behind that podium as she defends an ICE agent who just killed an American citizen, this is the symbol and message we cannot ignore. Because she is not promoting the collective punishment of cartels or terror groups. She's implying the collective punishment for anyone who opposes ICE in the United States, where one of ours is not Americans but ICE agents, and all of yours is not foreign organizations but American citizens. Citizens who are leveraging their First Amendment rights to speech, to petition, and to assemble. Now, if this is demoralizing and it feels worthless to call it out, it is not, because the clock is ticking for ICE's funding. The brand new poll now shows that 46% of Americans believe ICE should be abolished.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like a lot. That same number was only 27% 6 months ago. It's this kind of public pressure that gives our elected officials the backbone they need to stand up for American values and defund and abolish ICE when the opportunity comes. See?
All right, that is Rich. Oh, that's Rich. The link to that video I just played for you is down in the description. Please make sure you check out Rich. They're using... Hey, what's up, CJ? CJ, I haven't seen you in a long time. Good to see you. I hope you're safe. I hope you're well. I hope you're feeling blessed and your little slice of the world is warm and cozy. They're using live rounds in Minneapolis tonight, no doubt. This is progressing much faster than I think most people can understand. And what is a woman? I love when people ask that. You know what a woman is? She's the one that covers her drink when you walk by, you creep. You understand that? Anybody who covers their drink when you walk by, you can consider a woman because they think you're probably going to date rape them. So that's what a woman is. But yeah, CJ, this is accelerating to a degree that, you know, there's no voting out of this. If you think when Donald Trump just recently, and I covered it on this channel, said he should have seized election ballot boxes last election or the 2020 election, he should have seized them. There's nothing democratic about that. You can cut it any which way you want. You can think there's a reason. But the only reason is he wants authority because he's a fascist, because he's a tyrant, and mostly because he's a spoiled brat. You got to remember where Donald Trump comes from. He was neighbors with Epstein forever. Never thought they would get in trouble, right? These were the island boys. They thought they could do no wrong because they had all the money. Now, where'd they get the money? They didn't earn it. No, Donald Trump did not earn any money. You think he made his money on stakes and casinos and airlines and university fraud and charities? No, that was only a little bit. And he didn't earn a lot. It was mostly grifting people that worked for him. He was an exploiter. And where did he learn that? And where did he get his money? From his dad, Fred Trump, who was a racist, horrible piece of shit, and he's resting in hell right now. And every time I piss outside, I just think that maybe it's dripping down on him. And that's where Donald got his money, from his daddy. He's a Democratic coastal elite from New York who bragged about having a golden toilet. So just remember that when you choose Donald Trump over America, that's what you're choosing. A coastal elite Nepo baby, Jeff Epstein's best friend, who did heinous things to young children. Heinous things. But we have more to play. I want to play some Tad Stormer, because he is probably my favorite historian on YouTube. Again, link in the description. Cage Shadowmane. Oh, what's up, Cage? I haven't seen you in a long time. Holy Shinto, 1999. Thank you for the 1999 super chat. Let me just remind you guys, I'm only funded by viewers like you. That is it. I don't take no corporate money. Any ads you see, I ain't in them. So I'm giving you my thoughts, my commentary, and my narrative on the class war, because that's what this is. Cage, let's read this $20 super chat. Thank you. Quote, person was never defined by the Constitution. It was assumed no definition was necessary. Corrupt politicians reinterpreted person to include legal fictions and artificial entities. Quote, or parentheses, corporations / private interest groups. And that is 100% correct. And those are the ones, if you're wondering why America sucks right now, you can look to them. Almost every single thing not only goes back to Reagan and his absolutely disgusting deregulation, strike breaking, stock buyback making legal again, disassembling of any kind of working class structure we had. And this is, how many years removed? 40 years removed of that. This is 40 years of corporations gone wild. I don't know if you guys remember the 90s. There was this dickhead who was walking around drunk girls filming him, and then he would sell the VHS tapes. It was called The Girls Gone Wild. Dude was a creep. I'm guessing he's probably spent time in jail, not for drug charges or anything good, but probably other things. But I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not going to look him up. I don't give a shit. I was just referencing that because we should really have we should have a greatest hits. If I had a team of producers, this is what I would put together. I would put together a corporations gone wild. And I would show you over the decades, from the 80s to the 90s to the 2000s to the 2010s to the 2020, all the way up to yesterday when the EPA, Donald Trump's EPA, who's probably run by, some fucking oil fracker, announced that when they're considering pollution in the air, they will no longer consider its effect on human lives, but instead its effect of corporate profits. How's that for America? Do you love America? Do you love your streams? Do you love your outdoors? Do you love your national parks? Because Donald Trump is trying to pollute all of them. So yes, Cage, corporations and private interest groups, when they have this much money, like I always say on this channel, nothing good comes of it, because they use lawyers and other methods like buying politicians to pervert the Constitution so it benefits them while we suffer. All right. Thank you so much, by the way, for the $20 super chat. Huge. Oh, another chat. $2. Thanks, Jim. Thanks for the two. It's for the two spot. Between the two, free R. Kelly or free P. Diddy. I wouldn't free either of them, to be honest with you. I've never liked P. Diddy because you can't listen to a Biggie album without hearing that asshole say in the back like he's having a goddamn fucking Tourette's outbreak. And R. Kelly has always been a creep. So I refuse your narrative. Silencing these maggots. uh, so did I take a picture of Tad Stormer? I may have not have. But let's go over some big news too. This is the video of Donald Trump before I get into Tad. Yeah, I'll play the audio for you. This is the worker, the Ford worker, assembly plant, Michigan. You got to listen closely because TJ, the Ford worker, yells out. I'll tell you what he yells out. And then while Donald Trump's walking by, he yells out, "Pedo protector." And Donald Trump is such a pedo protector that he reacted. You know, because if somebody yelled that out and I was walking by, I probably wouldn't even look. I'd be like, oh, there's a freak around here. We got to watch out for them. But I wouldn't, you know. And as soon as that guy yelled pedo protector, he went, He knew. Donald knew. So let me play the audio. It's so hard to hear. It's right here in the beginning. Pedophile protector. And then Donald walks by, flips him off, goes, "Fuck you, you're fired." And then Ford fired him, which, I don't know, that's not a working class president to me. Don't we have free speech in America? Or do you guys not believe in free speech now? It's so funny. The maggots love free speech when they want to say the R word, you know? But if anybody else wants to exercise it, all of a sudden they want them fired. You guys are such puss bags. It's so hilarious that you have absolutely zero integrity or fucking courage to do anything that Donald Trump doesn't tell you to do. So that was, you know, the big news. Here is the guy, UAW worker at Ford factory, on Trump flipping him off after he called Trump a pedo protector. Quote, "Definitely no regrets whatsoever." I love this dude. Another quote from him, again, Ford caved to MAGA pressure and suspended TJ Sabula, the auto worker who called Trump a pedo protector, to his face today. And by the way, much respect to TJ, because when you have that opportunity, use it. And that goes for everybody. Exercise your free speech. Fuck your job. Fuck it all. We are in the middle of an authoritarian fascist takeover. You get the moment, you take it. God bless TJ. Amazing work, my friend. He's got to go fund me, by the way, too. I think 100,000 raise. I'm not sure how much raised, but if you can, you know, he obviously lost his job, but I would say it was well worth it in the sight of things. History will remember you, TJ. You inspire a lot of people. And when they asked him, TJ said, "I don't feel as though fate looks upon you often. And when it does, you better be ready to seize the opportunity." Well, God bless him. God bless him. And this is who we're up against, folks. You see this name right here? I talked about the leaks, the ICE leaked list of who are the ICE officers. This name is Enrique Tarrio. If you don't know that name, it's weird to say this. He's a white supremacist. Enrique Tarrio. God, it's so crazy that we can have guys named Enrique fucking doing the bidding of white supremacy. This is insane. You know, normally, well, here's the funniest part about this. He's now an ICE officer. He is the white supremacy force that Donald Trump is using. You know, remember when Donald Trump said to the Proud Boys, "Stand back and stand by"? This was the moment he was talking about. He said, "I need you guys to come off those parades you're doing everywhere where, I don't know, they're singing dance tunes and fucking who knows what these Proud Boys were doing when they were marching around, hiding their faces." And he said, and they did. That's Gay Terrio. He's a snitch. He ratted some of the workforces are the same who burn crosses. But Enrique, this is the funny thing. His name is Enrique Tarrio. If he wasn't on ICE, they'd probably be kicking in his door with a name like that. So just be careful, the enforcers of white supremacy. Let this be a lesson to you. Once there's no one else to go after, they're going to turn inwards. They will always cannibalize themselves, and they will always, always look at you differently. Your name is Enrique Tario. You are not one of them, just so you know. But be the boots on the ground. They love that. They love using you in their white supremacy structure. Understand me, because as soon as you're done doing their dirty work, they're going to throw you away. And there's going to be no one to rat to. You'll be in Honduras or some fucking crazy country. Let's listen to Tad Stormer, my favorite historian on YouTube. You can find the video linked down below.
Stephen Miller told ICE agents that no law but Trump's applies to them. That literally and legally, no one can touch them.
Did you hear what he said? Stephen Miller said to ICE agents, no law applies to you. That's a little different from last year's Donald Trump's Law and Order party. It's a facade. They're grifting you. They're lying. They wanted power to seize it for themselves, to hand over, any kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Any kind of deal, any kind of kickback they could get from these trillion-dollar corporations, from the Palantirs, from the Facebooks, from the Apple, whatever kind of golden gifts, whatever kind of fealty they would lay at the feet of Donald Fatso McCankles Trump Queefer. That's why they wanted to seize power, because greed can be saved, and Donald Trump is a greed monster. Supremacist ICE force, again, leaked list, Proud Boy be turned against. You don't get to have Tario and enforce white supremacy for long. Okay, not with people like, what's that, Earl Alicia. When you're up with some Earls and Eileens, Elliots, those are some white names. Okay, and Enrique, you stand out, buddy. You stand out. But keep being a tool for white supremacy, you idiot. And Stephen Miller, who's, Santa Monica Goebbels, the uptalker. He talks like a beach bimbo, but he's very much a fascist. He's telling ICE, there's no laws that apply to you. Isn't this America? Don't you believe in justice? Or do you give that all up at the feet of your Donald Trump, Epstein's best friend, remember? But this is an important lesson that Tad has.
No city official, no state official, no other justice but their own. J.D. Vance turned a dead American into a loyalty test. Every congressional Democrat and every Democrat who's running for president should be asked the simple question, do you think this officer was wrong in defending his life against a deranged leftist who tried to run him over? A deranged leftist who had just dropped her 6-year-old off at school. But hear what they're actually saying, embedded in all this.
Hold on, we're going to pause real quick. Tad is getting to his point. This is Tad Stormer we're listening to. He's an American historian, specifically in resistance history, and he had to flee. He was getting so many threats, he had to flee America. That's insane. Cage, hold on. Holy Shinto, thank you for the $20 super chat. Again, my man, I have an amendment proposal to reassert rights to humans, Homo sapiens, and taxes to be used for public funding and not private interests. I want candidates to pledge to support this amendment. What say you all? I fully support that, 100%. Support, hearted it. I believe that not only corporations should be taxed at 100%, everything over $1 billion, 100%. We take it all, from the CEOs, from the billionaires. We take everything. You can't tell me one thing that any billionaire has done good. You know why? Because with that much money, you could get rid of homeless veterans, solve hunger in America for children. You could do all these things and none of them do it. You know what they do? They buy elections so they can just have bigger Wall Street expectations, and their stock goes up, and it's all made up. It's all make-believe. So yes, Cage, I 100% support the amendment proposal to reassert rights to humans, human beings. Corporations are not humans. Trust me, I'd like to see the soul go out of one, but they're not humans. And taxes to be used for public funding, not private interests. Aye. Everybody give, if you believe in that. I know there are some traitorous red hats in the comments. And you red hats, just like the red coats during the revolutionary time, you're just going to be, a footnote in history that you stood in the way of real Americans like me and Cage. So Cage, I appreciate the super chat, and I would say I totally support that. Hold on. Someone said white supremacist named Tario. It's one of the funniest things I see today. Like, I saw a black ICE agent and I was like, has this guy got a brain fucking malfunction? What is wrong with him? And then you learn a guy named Enrique is like, Enrique, I don't think they should have let you join, buddy. This is how you know the hiring standards are loose. They're usually chasing dudes like with your name down, man. And they will. They will. Once they got to fill those quotas, they're not going to fill themselves, Enrique. Fucking loser. Let's get back to Tad Stormer talking about Stephen Miller saying no law can get in your way. No city official, no one can stand in the way of ICE. ICE has complete and absolute immunity, backed up by J.D. Vance, which is anti-American, by the way. That is 100% anti-American. This is fascist rhetoric.
One authority, theirs. No other law, city, state, doesn't matter. No other elected official, no other appointed official, no other justice, no other morality, just theirs. ICE is where they're applying the lesson, but the lesson isn't about ICE. They're telling you who has rights and who doesn't, who counts as American and who doesn't. Forget what it says on your birth certificate, forget what it says on your passport, forget what it says on your federal ID or your green card. Are they wrong? Renee Good is dead, shot by an ICE agent in Minneapolis. A 37-year-old mother, a poet, a U.S. citizen, not a target, an observer. Video shows her turning away when she was killed. Her last words to her murderer, "I'm not mad at you." Then he shot her 3 times and called her a fucking bitch. That exchange is where America is today. Vance said she was brainwashed by left-wing ideology, part of a left-wing network. And the pardon power waits behind all of this. Even if someone, somewhere, brought charges against all odds through some sort of crack in the wall that has been built, the pardon is right there, the final word, a gift from the founders. So when Miller says no one can touch them, believe him. One authority, theirs. We've decided you are not America, not our America, not the America we're remaking. As a Supreme Court justice once wrote, you have no rights we're bound to respect. Sit with that. And when you're done, when you're ready to ask what to do, when you processed all that, grab a mirror and stare at it. And then listen to what people are doing when they reach for Nazi Germany or the Gestapo and stop. Instead, reach for your own resistance history, because it's happened in the United States. We know what works and what doesn't, and it's not a protest. And Black public historians have been saying this. I'm just building on their work. Look to America. For 80 years, presidents told Black America exactly what Vance and Miller are saying right now. To a fifth of the population, no power protects you, only our power to oppress you.
I'm going to pause it real quick, but he gets into the Black community and how, and this is still one of the greatest. Harriet Tubman needs to be on the 20. Martin Luther King should be on the 100, because when I look at Black Americans and their struggle and their success in overcoming what they have, there is no more determined American than the Black community. There just isn't. No, there isn't. There is no one who has fought harder to be America while America itself was telling them, no, you're not us. And through all of that, the Black community said, fuck you. You won't give it to us, we'll take it. Put Harriet Tubman on the 20. Put MLK on the 50. Put Fred Hampton on the 100. That's what it should be. Hampton on the 100. Tubman on my 20. But some of you are scared of that. I don't know why. I don't know where racism comes from. I think it's fear, you know. But you confuse it for hate, but really you're scared. And it's sad. Because what I see today when I see ICE going out there is a bunch of grown-ass men that are terrified of others and doing the work of somebody who would just absolutely not give a shit if those people died in the line of duty. He would call them losers because he doesn't like people who get captured. Remember when he said that about John McCain? Donald Trump will call these people losers if they embarrassed him by not, looking whatever he deems that today, whatever he deems fit to look like today, because, it always changes with him because he's a spoiled brat and he don't give a shit. He's not American. He's a Trumpian, and that's what he's saying. But Cage said, read the comments on the last video Rob posted. The amendment and pledge are there. Share them and get them to the candidates. Cage, are you a member of the Discord? We have a Discord, link in the description. The link might be old, so if it's dead, I'll repost it. Because if you can give me the amendment and pledge there, I will share it not only on Discord, but I will make a actual post on my YouTube and I will post it up there. So let's get the word out about this. I love this. This is American right here. Starting ballots, starting pledges, starting alliances, starting coalitions. That's what we're doing. That's what this community is about. Cage, I absolutely love you. I love the way your mind is thinking, and I love the way you're trying to build community and organize behind this. I fully support it. And if you do, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let's get the word out and let's start something, Hope starts in places like this. When somebody has an idea and it sparks others and they go, yeah, why shouldn't we have, taxes for us, for the public? Why are our taxes benefiting a trillionaire? Your taxes are going to prop up Tesla and SpaceX. If he's got $1 trillion, turn that shit liquid, baby, and use your own cash. Stop using our money, you South African illegal immigrant whose dad, Errol Musk, married his stepsister. If you don't believe me, I did a whole video on it. There was a whole article with the diagram of his family tree, which is basically a fucking circle now. But if you're wondering where your tax dollars are going next year and the year after when you pay your taxes, just remember, you can look up at those rockets that are exploding over communities in Florida and Texas and across the world, and you can say, oh, look, there goes my tax money. Look, it's blowing up in that moron trillionaire's spaceship that can't fucking get into orbit. So just remember that. That's where your taxes are going. And what Cage is saying is, no more. We'd like healthcare. We'd like other things than blown up rockets that will never, ever, ever go to Mars. He's not going to Mars. That was a grift, right? Just like the Doge dividends checks of $5,000. Like, he's a grifter. It's the only thing he's good at. Him and Donald Trump. Why do you think they get along? Plus, they're both in the Epstein files. Let's get back to Tad Stormer.
Massachusetts might say you're free. Pennsylvania might be state laws to combat slavery and protect people to avoid the application of federal fugitive slave acts. Doesn't matter. Our orders override what you call your laws. No, you are property. You will always be property. You can never be free. You can never have rights. Your very presence threatens real America, white America. Free black people will murder us, rob us, rape our women. You cannot be controlled, so you must be removed. George Washington said it. Thomas Jefferson said it. Lincoln said it to black leaders' faces in the White House in 1862. Your race suffer very greatly, many of them by living among us, while ours suffer from your presence. It is better for us both, therefore, to be separated. Put that.
I try to tell people this all the time about Lincoln. He's lauded as a hero, but realistically, he wanted black people to have their own country back in Africa. And that is no joke. And I know this because my cousin is John Brown, the one who sparked the Civil War, who rewrote the Constitution to include women and black people. My cousin was there saying Abe Lincoln is a fucking fraud. But, Abe Lincoln did a few things, but the intent was not genuine. Let's be clear on that. And I'm appreciative of historians backing me up on that.
battle on to get his purgatory.
And by the way, you can just read books. You can find this shit out. They put it in books. Isn't that crazy? Why do you think Donald Trump wants you to hate books? If anybody ever tells you to hate books, I'm looking at you, Tim Pool, you fucking twat. If anybody ever tells you to hate books, question them. Question them. Why? What is scary about reading words? That's where you learn stuff.
Dress. Yeah, slavery's wrong, but it doesn't change the color of your skin, which he said was the real issue. So, the existence of black Americans is the problem. Lincoln couldn't change white people, so you gotta go. And no power could stop federal power, their power, from enforcing that vision. Congress made it a crime to help someone escaping that power, a crime to give them food or shelter, a requirement to assist citizens deputized whether they liked it or not. In Dred Scott in 1857, the Chief Justice Roger Taney confirmed what the Constitution meant. Black people had no rights which the white man was bound to respect. That was not a betrayal of the founding. That was the founding. It was a confirmation of 80 years of Supreme Court jurisprudence from Marshall through Story. No avenues for peaceful change, for persuasion, for protest, none. Congress had shut it off. The courts had shut it off. The president never opened the door. The power of words had limits. So what was their way out? Not another march, not another petition, not more voices. Action. That's why the term isn't community words. It's community action, direct action. In Massachusetts, they made the Fugitive Slave Act unenforceable, and they didn't do it through speeches. They did it through community action. They put their bodies between federal power and the people it wanted to chew up and spit out. It made federal agents' lives so miserable, harassment, confrontation, obstruction, that they gave up and went home. When hunters came for William and Ellen Craft, Boston's Vigilance Committee had them arrested repeatedly, hit them with $30,000 in bonds, and driven out of Boston entirely. Lewis Hayden, who had escaped slavery himself, sheltered hundreds fleeing enslaver power in his Beacon Hill home. He kept kegs of gunpowder by his front door. He told the agents, "Come in, we all die together, let's see what your commitment is."
You hear that? An escaped slave who came up to Boston was living here and helping others. When the slave catchers were coming, he put 2 gunpowder kegs by his front door and said, "You come here and we're all going together. Let's see how committed you are to it." That is beautiful community action. I love hearing that. And anyone in America should be proud that that's your history. You should be so proud that that's who America is. That is an incredible story. You don't have to be black to appreciate it. And this is where so many of these Enrique Tarrio white boot-licking enforcers get so confused. That is our history. No matter where your descendants were in that, you need to respect the bravery of that. Mostly because probably your descendants might have been slave catchers if you were MAGA, you know? And don't feel bad about it. But just know you were on the wrong side and learn your lesson. Learn it because you're repeating it right now. Enrique, the white supremacy enforcer? That's fucking weird. Enrique doesn't sound like a white name. That's what they're saying about you while your back is turned. And they're calling you a rat, Enrique. But it's great to look to history to understand how people overcame when there were authorities saying, you don't have the right to protest. You don't have the right to speak out. You don't have the right to assemble. And our people have every right in the world to enforce what we want them to. This has happened before in America. This has happened before in the world. And you can look and find out how it was overcome. I'm very proud of my home city of Boston to have kept arresting these slave catchers and then hit them with $30,000 of bonds until they left town. That's how you chase people out. Community action. That's what we're doing here. Community action. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. We're taking our streets and cities back. Let's finish with Tad Stormer. Video to this down below, okay? The best people in society defend those who can't defend themselves. CJ, God, I love you. Yes, 100%. And the thing that disappoints me the most about these maggots, M-A-G-A-T-S, is that they claim to do it in the name of the Lord. They hold out their cross and they go, look at us. We're for Jesus. You don't know Jesus and he don't know you. He will say, get back from me, Satan, when he does see you. Because what did Jesus do? He defended the vulnerable. He fed the hungry. That's what he did. You can read it for yourself. There's a free Bible in every hotel room. Let's get back to Tad.
And when they seized Shadrach Minkins in a Boston courthouse, black men stormed in and took him back. Were the consequences? Sure. 9 abolitionists were indicted. None were convicted. Juries wouldn't do it. Not because they all opposed, but enough did. Even a majority of one honest person on a jury saying not guilty was enough. Go ahead, send your troops. Can't stay forever. Federal law was on the books, but its reach was cut off, not by words, by what people did. That's what resistance looked like, not symbolic protest. Gunpowder at the door, making agents' lives unlivable, blocking them, confronting them, exhausting them. Make them claim immunity from the power of the people. Now see if they can use it. That's what happened. That's our history. It happened in the United States. We know what works. You don't need to look to Germany in the 1930s. You need to look to America. You need to look in the mirror. For more on this, a great work is Steve Kantrowitz's More Than Freedom, Fighting for Black Citizenship in a...
I forgot to take a note on that. Where's my pen? More Than Freedom. I'll post the book in the thing. Hold on. Because anytime Tad recommends a book, I have to get it. Sorry. I don't have my pen with me, but I meant to do this earlier, so I'm just doing it on live. This is wicked unprofessional, but you know, what are you going to do? So More Than Freedom by Stephen Kantrowitz.
White Republic, and almost anything Kelly Carter Jackson is doing.
And he says any book or writing Kelly Carter Jackson is doing. I got to remember that too. I love read. That's one of my favorite things. That's why I share book recommendations with you guys. I always have a few, you know, right in the back of me, because these books are so vital and so important to understand what is going on right now. And we learn that through our own history. That's really the remarkable thing. It's like you don't have to even look too far, especially when it comes to Venezuela. When people in my chat, you know, act like an idiot and go, say anytime socialism's ever worked. And you go, well, why does the US have to keep cooing everywhere in South America once they start nationalizing the oil? Like, look at how many times this shit's been cooed. Why is the CIA in America working so hard with Milton Friedman to turn all of South America into a capitalist hellscape? Well, if you're wondering, there's more than just that in this book by Naomi Klein. It's called The Shock Doctrine, one of my favorite books. And it talks about, you know, the CIA and Milton Friedman helping to install Pinochet and other dictators and fascists that were, you know, just ripe to take bribes from the capitalists. So here's a great book for you. But I give you that because I absolutely love when smart YouTubers, people I look up to, I don't know about you, maggots. I look up to smarter people who understand history, people who are well-read, people who, you know, take pride in knowing things. Not like Joe Rogan, again, unless you're looking for a temperature of an ice bath, or maybe some of these maggots are just watching his nipples when he gets in. But I like, you know, when people can push back because they know something. Like I just watched on Pat Bet David, right? I was watching RM Brown. We'll do this tomorrow. And I was really pissed because Pat Bet David, who is a moron, he's an idiot. I couldn't believe how stupid this guy is. I'm like, this is why he worked in, you know, pyramid schemes, because he has no other skills. He doesn't know shit. He just knows how to exploit people. He knows how to prey on people's vulnerabilities. That's why he's doing a podcast right now. I can't believe you guys support this dude falling asleep again. Look at that absolute queef. But Joe Rogan or Pat Bet Davidstone, while I was watching RM Brown, had Curtis Yarvin on, and KKK Curtis was talking about my family member John Brown. I've read many books on John, know the history, have him in my ancestry tree, and I could not believe that Pat Bet Davidson not only didn't know who John Brown was, but just took this guy's word. And Curtis Yarvin lied about my family. Because John Brown is an American hero. And he lied about Osawatomie Brown and the towns that John just killed people. And that's not exactly how it went. And he didn't talk about the stories of how my family member was out in free state Kansas. Well, by the way, when you hear free state, they didn't mean like free of slavery, but they meant free of black people. And then my family went out there and said, no, 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 it's not going to be free of black people. You're going to be free of slavery. And he rewrote the Constitution. But more importantly, there were border ruffians at the time. These were racist assholes who were raiding people and just murdering Americans. Border ruffians. You can look them up. Free State, Kansas, Bloody Kansas, border ruffians. They were terrorizing communities. And my family member, John Brown, went and defended these communities, outnumbered. And Curtis Yarvin said nothing of that on Patty Davidson's podcast. And I was so pissed because no one pushed back. And this Curtis Yarvin freak who's just beloved by billionaires and clearly is uneducated because the way he positioned John Brown was either malicious or ignorant. And either one means you're a fucking moron. And nobody could push back against it. And I was so livid. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. I'll play the clips because it's an absolute farce of making a true American hero, John Brown, out to be whatever he needed him to be for a less educated Pat Davidson. Absolute morons. So that Ted Stormer video, link down below. What else do we have? Did you guys see the journalist Laura Jadid, who got hired by ICE? I linked this video down below. We'll listen to it a couple seconds.
On-the-spot hiring to where you could, in fact, walk out with your $50,000 bonus that day, possibly. I went in, I handed in my resume, which was, I did a skills-based resume. I'm a veteran. I served 2 tours in Afghanistan. So on the surface, the resume looked pretty good. Had a very brief interview, took all of 6 minutes. They didn't ask very many questions. And then I left.
Gotta pause it. Thanks for the $4.99 super chat. Rad 2025-1. I like the name. I use that word often. Rad with the $4.99 super chat says, your fans are wicked smart. Originally from Southie. God bless you. Southie's not the same. It got gentrified. Sucks now. They still got L Street Taffin, and they still got a few different things. But last time I went to Southie, I was like, this is weird. It's just weird. Oh, well. But that's cool. I don't know where you're at in the world now, but it's going to be freezing here all week, so enjoy it if you're somewhere it's warm. That's why I left. You're definitely from here. You sound like everybody that I love that has left. That's why I left. In fact, I just sent my brother a screenshot of the weather for the next week because he's down south complaining it's chilly and cold. And I said, really? Is it 13 at night? I said, is it so cold that the dog don't want to go outside? Oh, Rad. I hope you hit subscribe and the notification bell. It's good to have you here. DC. Oh, that's cool. Well, DC, yeah, listen, you'll make your way south. My brother did the same thing. He was DC area, and then he went more south and more south. He was chasing cheap homes, but 21,000 homeless in Boston. Is that a real number? We could easily fix that problem just taxing billionaires. You know what I mean? Like, this is an easy fix, guys. They have the money. They're not worried about price of egg. They don't worry about rent or home costs. They don't know what groceries cost. Donald Trump didn't even know groceries were a word. The dude's a moron. We need to tax billionaires, like at 100%. There should be no more. Once the leftists, the socialists take over like myself, once we take America back and give it back to the people, because remember, a socialist doesn't want fucking corporations to run things. They don't want CEOs running things. If you're a socialist, you believe in power in the working class. An injury to one is an injury to all. That's what we believe. And we believe you shouldn't have to work more than 40 hours a week to live comfortably, to have healthcare, education, vacations, recreational time, all that stuff. You know, the things that FDR wanted for us, MLK, an economic bill of rights, things that guarantee just the decency of Americans. That's what we're talking about, not greed. Greed is what the billionaires have, never enough. So we need to take it back. We need to take it back. Community action. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I appreciate you, Rad. Appreciate you. Stars Fire. I don't know if you're driving and watching this, but please don't. Please don't. This is dangerous because you're talking about driving. So, yep. Rad, you're correct. We taxed millionaires and billionaires in Massachusetts. It was no problem at all. We did it in 2022. Thank you for bringing that up. I bring this up once a live stream. Hit subscribe, notification bell. Join me every weekday. I am Rob. I'm a former addict. I'm a believer in Jesus, but not the American Jesus, the actual Jesus, you know, the brown, black one. And I would love for you to join the family. But yes, we taxed millionaires. In 2022, the people put it to a vote. It was on the ballot, the millionaires tax, and we taxed them. And guess what? No kid that goes to school, no kid goes to school and goes hungry in Massachusetts. There is no more paying for lunch at school. If you have a child or you go to school, your food is free. And that's great because feeding kids makes them able to learn. You ever been hungry and tried to learn something? You can't do it. So we did. The millionaires tax worked. And guess what? For all the people who go, the billionaires will leave, I was praying. In 2022, I got down on my knees and I said, Jesus, make all the billionaires disappear, please. It would be so amazing. We could redistribute their wealth and people could have health care. Oh my God, please let them leave. Please let them leave, Lord. And none of them did. It was a front. They don't want to leave Massachusetts. Are you kidding? Give up their 6 Airbnbs down on Cape Cod? They would never. And you know what happened after we taxed millionaires? 4%, any income over $1 million gets taxed an extra 4%. That's tiddlywinks to millionaires and billionaires. That's nothing. They're not struggling to get by. I know that Wall Street Journal and the New York Times are going to tell you, oh, rich people are having a hard time right now. Why do you think? They want you to believe that narrative. They want you to feel bad for the people who are only taking 2 or 3 vacations this year instead of 6. Stop bootlicking for them. And when they threaten you, oh, if you tax us, we'll leave. Guess what? None of them did. Massachusetts is proof. We did this tax in 2022. And you know what happened? Our millionaire population grew by 39%. Link in the description if you don't believe me. It's reported on. You can look it up. This is why the mainstream media is not going to tell you about this stuff, but I will, because remember, come on, that brought some nostalgia to some of you. Come on. Come on, some of my latchkey kids. You know what that sound is. You know what this sound is. You know it. You know, after school, hitting them, what were them? Dunkaroos and a buku. Those are or orbits. Come on, where are my people with my 90s food? Crystal Clear Pepsi, Dunkaroos, orbits, the bear claws with the bite out of them. Remember that? I understood the sound, but I'm used to the shooting star also. Edward, good to see you, Edward. I know. I didn't have the shooting star. My apologies. We'll work on it. All right. What else do we have? They won't leave no matter how hard we try. Thank you. Rad, you are fucking a kindred soul, man. You're speaking my love language right now. Taxing billionaires and getting them the fuck out of our homes. Oh, our communities. God bless you, Rad. I hope you hit this notification bell too. Absolutely radical. Oh, and by the way, just want to bring this to your attention too, because I know people are like, ICE is going after the bad guys. Oh, wait, this is for the other story. I just wanted to show you this, that a college student, Annie Lucia, 19-year-old, was flying from Massachusetts to Texas for Thanksgiving when she was arrested at Logan, deported to Honduras, despite a court order that she not be deported. She was flying home to visit her family. And instead of going home, she was deported to Honduras. This isn't America anymore. I don't know what the it's going to take you to wake up. I pray to God you're not one of the ones that goes, well, it won't happen to me, and then it's going to happen to you. I pray to God because I would never want this to happen to anybody, but it's happening to Americans. This is a 19-year-old college student. I believe she was at Babson College. I forget what. Yeah, Babson College. What danger is she to you? Seriously, maggots, listen to me. What threat does a 19-year-old college girl have to you? This is the Joe Rogan audience. Epitome of the Joe Rogan audience. Scared of everything. Jesus. God, my back is hurting so bad, and I really wanted to go over the Ken Lippenstein and the Sasha Riley Sasha Riley's story is absolutely terrifying. Sasha Riley, if you don't know, a decorated Army vet, U.S. military, has come out and done an interview with a Canadian. I don't know where in Canada. I want to say BC, but I don't know. And I was listening to his testimony, I guess you could call it, against Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, and it is gnarly. It's a little late, so I don't think we're going to dive into it just yet. Ooh, lighting on? I don't know. I could do lighting. Lighting off. There we go. Let's go. Did you see? Let's hit some meme news real quick. I usually do this at the beginning, but we'll do it here after we hit the news. Donald Trump fell asleep again. You don't believe me? He's fully asleep. This Mick Hitler is, probably the worst shape, oldest. He's definitely the oldest president we had, and just an absolute puppet for the white supremacists behind him. This is Donald Trump flipping off a Ford union worker because that union worker just said the truth about him, that he's a pedo protector. But it's good to see that people are raising money for him. Dropkick Murphys dropped in 500. Solidarity. Support people who speak out. This is the Ken Klippenstein. There's that little 5'1" turd, Greg Bovino. Sounds like a name of a fucking cow. Shut your hole, Bovino. We'll get into that tomorrow. Capitalism's so successful it needs to steal oil from socialist countries just to survive. This is what I was referencing the other day. Only in 2024, only 2 states voted unanimously. Let's compare. Oklahoma voted all red for Donald Trump. Let's see what they get for that. 44th in education, 49th in healthcare, 44th quality of life, 50 in test scores, the top 10 worst poverty. Now, the state I'm from and the state I'm in, Massachusetts, we voted for Kamala. First in education, second in healthcare, first in quality of life, first in test scores, top 10 least poverty. We also taxed millionaires, and none of them left. God damn it. Why didn't they leave? They promised. You know what's I'm so mad is now I know billionaires are not trustworthy because they all said, "Oh, if you tax us, we're going to leave." And it turns out, oh, they could afford a 4% tax, and none of them left. And our millionaire population grew, so it's kind of gross. What else did? Oh, I wanted to play this dude speaking out. He is a union man. Jimmy Williams Jr. in construction, and his video that we'll play tomorrow, where he spells out, your enemies are not immigrants, they're billionaires. Love him. Americans looking at South Korea. I don't know if CJ, did you see this in the news? South Korean prosecutors are seeking the death sentence for impeached President Yoon over his imposition of martial law in December of 2024. And America is looking like, damn, why can't we do stuff like that? Why can't we do the great stuff? Your Department of Labor, by the way. Department of Labor is posting shit like this now. America is for Americans. This is a Nazi slogan. This is not a coincidence. And they're telling you who they are. And when they tell you that, believe them. And if you think, oh, America is for Americans, and you think you're an American, you're not. Donald Trump decides who's an American. J.D. Vance decides who's an American. Stephen Miller, that hateful little beach bimbo, decides who's an American. They don't care what your birth certificate says. I just showed you a girl from Babson who was just flying to Texas. They don't care. They do not care. And if you think your skin color protects you, you are going to have a shock and awe awakening. Again, we highlighted the leaked list of ICE officers, and the leader, rat snitch, Enrique Tarrio, least white name ever, shouldn't be allowed to do white supremacy stuff, but they allow him because they don't care if he gets hurt. Let's be honest, they'll let the others do the dirty work for them because then they'll just turn on them. But now there's proof that those who work forces are the same who burn crosses. Hopefully you get that reference. Oh, and this was another story I was going to talk about. I'm an Adidas guy. Maybe that's rad. Are you still here? Oh, hold on. What if we tax them everywhere and they can't threaten to leave because there's no place to go? Noble idea, but it might work. Novel idea. Rad, I love it. That's what I mean. We just do a federal tax on billionaires. Once you get to $999,999,999.99, everything over that, you're taxed at 100% across America. And then where you're going to go? Greenland? Good luck. Have fun. Don't let the door hit you. Anyways, Rad's still here. Rad, I'm guessing you're an Adidas guy. I'm guessing. Or gal. I know a lot of people in Massachusetts usually rock the Adidas. I know not everyone, but most. So I don't have to change my purchasing habits, but just in case you wanted to know, this is Phil Knight. He's about as rotten as Donald Trump. And I mean like in his human form. You know, you notice these people, they're not looking their best. They're not sending their best. They're looking a little rotten. And it's just amazing because you think closer to the end of life, they'd be like, oh, you know, I've done some wrong. But, you know, when Satan calls, they answer. Phil Knight gives a record-setting donation to help elect Republicans. He's looking to change. Oh, and CJ, this is the Pacific Northwest. So Phil Knight is looking to use the maggot Republican platform to overtake Oregon's political system. And there was a whole article, we can go into it more tomorrow, but my more important lesson was when you purchase Nikes, just know what you're supporting. Just know who you're enriching. You're enriching this dude when you buy Nike anything. You're supporting him, and he is donating to the people that want to oppress you. So just beware of your spending habits. That's all this was. I just wanted to bring awareness. He's a lizard man. He might be. He might be. He might be. I don't like paying to advertise any big company. God damn, you're making me like you even more, Rad. Stop doing this. Hold on 1 second. Come here. Come on. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down. All right. Sorry. The dog wanted to come and hang. Go in your bed. Good girl. Why do they always look like they're melting? Nike's providing face masks for ICE. Are you serious, CJ? I believe it. Oh, wait. They say, no, the claim is false, originating in misleading social media posts in late 2025. Fact checkers found no incident. But hold on. Okay, TikTok video September claimed Nike was giving masks to new ICE hires. Again, this is an AI-generated response. I fucking hate it, but it's just quick, so that's why I'm reading it. Snopes, did Nike donate face masks to ICE? Let's see. What does Snopes say? Hold on. So we've just confirmed that Nike Incorporated is giving out face masks to new ICE hires, ski face masks. In the original video, that's what the user stated. But the user did not cite any evidence. Hold on, let me look at their masks. That guy's got a Nike mask on. No reputable news source repeated the claim as fact. Yeah, but who are you trusting as a reputable news source? Like CBS, run by Barry Weiss and the fucking Ellison family? You know what I mean? Like CBS is not trustworthy news. I trust Democracy Now!, The Humanist Report, some more news, Majority Report, Hassan, you know, Tad Stormer. Well, they don't report on news, but what's the other one? There's some more. It's just late. So I'm not sure of this. Again, when they say the mainstream media hasn't reported on it, I go, why would the mainstream media rat out one of their biggest advertisers? You know, they would never do that to them. They would hide it. They would, the mainstream media would hide. If Nike actually provided face masks, the mainstream media would never report that. Never. Not in a million years. Just so you understand, this is not how news in America operates. They all work to protect each other. You think one of the biggest fucking brands in the world, they're going to be like, oh, they're donating to ICE and get hate for them? No. That's why I'm reporting that I don't give a shit if Nike donated anything to ICE. What's more important is Phil Knight, the fucking founder, CEO, whatever it is, he reported the most ever, a record-setting donation to help elect Republicans in Oregon to take over. Republicans are a disgrace. They're all authoritarians. They want to protect corporate profits and poison your water. That's what Republicans stand for. Edward, I'm guessing that most ICE brings their own LARPing gear along with them. None of them seem to be dressed in what you would call standard issues, so Nike Mask doesn't mean Nike donated to them. Yeah. Edward, I think you're 100% right. I think, this is how you know it's just a domestic Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein distraction military force, because there is no standard code. There's no standard with them whatsoever. That's why, eerily enough, they keep looking like the Proud Boys, because the Proud Boys want to kind of match, but be just a little flamboyant. They can have a few tchotchkes. What were they called? Remember that Office Space? You can have 14 tchotchkes on you. So they like to have a little pizzazz too. Yes, Hassan is credible. He is. Oh, I'm smart. Sorry, I didn't know you were small-brained. That's all right, though. We'll forgive you. There's idiots everywhere. My daughter is really into basketball, and now she's like, what can I wear? But that, CJ, that's amazing. That's why you're such a good mother, because you raise kids that are aware, and that's a good thing, man. That's just like my daughter. My daughters, all of my daughters, they're aware of these things. Because why do you want to give money to somebody who wants to turn around and not only take your money, but poison your food, take your home, fucking make sure you don't have health care, and work till you're 100? That's what these people want. They're set. Why do you think they want Republicans in charge? Because they know Republicans are just puppets. They're just mouthpieces for these corporations. They have nothing to invest in their citizenry. They have nothing to invest as a public servant to the people who they're supposed to be serving. They serve the billionaire class. Hey, what's up, Thorn? Good to see you. Flair. Thank you, Timbo. My apologies. It was Flair. It was Flair. I live in Oregon. It's a supermajority Democrat state. I don't blame Phil Knight for trying to get the politicians in Oregon out. I do. And if you have bad Democratic ones, get better ones. Get socialist ones, Because remember, politicians are public servants. They work for you. And if he's spending a record-setting amount of money, who do you think they're going to work for? If you're in Oregon, seriously, DJ, do you think you and Phil Knight have the same interests? When he wants tax cuts for anything over $1 million, is that going to help you? Is that going to help your community? Is that going to help the potholes in the road? Is that going to help your schools? Is that going to help the places like fire departments, police departments, fucking whatever you need? Is that going to help your community? Do you really believe that Phil Knight of Nike has your interest in mind? This should terrify you, DJ. The fact that you came in here and you were like, oh, I get it. It's a Democratic supermajority and he wants them out. Why do you think he wants them out? Because they're trying to do stuff for you and he doesn't want them to. And if he gets the Republicans in with a record-setting donation, do you think they're thinking of DJ in Portland or wherever you are? This is the only city I know. Astoria? Is that another one? Goonies? Anyways, I love fucking Oregon. I want to go there so bad. Jesus, this country sucks right now. We got to take it back. We got to take it back, folks. Marvin Hinton, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Adidas founder Adolf Adi Dassler was a Nazi. I didn't know that. Interesting. Let's look that up. Adidas founder, Nazi. Yes, Adidas founder Adolf Adi Dassler and his brother Rudolf, who founded Puma. Wait a minute. Adidas brother founded Puma? What the fuck was going on back then? Marvin, thank you for the info. This is amazing. Were members of the Nazi Party, joining in May 1933, largely as business decisions to align with... Oh, yeah, this makes sense. Okay. So, largely as a business decision to align with the regime and ensure their company's success. Though Rudolph was considered a more ardent follower, the Dassler brothers' factory produced military items during World War II, and their deep rift after the war led to the split and creation of Adidas and Puma, with brothers having used Nazi affiliations and symbols. Wow. It was, but so here's the part I was talking about. So it says business motivation. It was common for business owners to join the party to benefit their companies. So again, what you're seeing in America right now, I just want to draw the parallel. When Tim Apple, remember Donald Trump called him Tim Apple, Tim Cook donated that gold Apple thing to Donald Trump, that gold cube. And he was like, here, it's the fucking, what did Loki have? The stratosphere. Remember Loki in Avengers? He had that little box. I forget what it's called. But why do you think Meta, Elon, they're all aligning with Trump because they're like, oh, this fascist dictator is going to benefit our businesses. He's going to help us. He will cut us out of the tariffs and let the small businesses that can't afford it suffer, which will be better for us, less competition. So this is a direct parallel. So the Adidas, the Dazzler brothers, they align themselves with the Nazis thinking this will be great for our business. We'll make a ton of money, you know? It sucks, man. It sucks. But the more you know. Marvin, absolutely amazing fact. Didn't know that. Adidas is Jewish now as Kanye. Who the fuck wrote that? See, Matt. Oh my God. Aldi and Trader Joe's are founded by brothers? Oh my God. Marvin, you got to hit subscribe and notification bell. I love people that have these tidbits. This is amazing. Oh my God. Capitalism gone wrong. The American political system sucks balls 100%. 100%. This isn't America anymore. There's no more like, not only the American dream, but like transcending, you know, from working class to middle class. The middle class is gone. They're ensuring. I mean, look at the Department of Labor's fucking post. Okay, I just went over this. Where is it? The Department of Labor posted. This is the Department of Labor. Just so you know, if you have a gripe in America, you go through the Department of Labor. Sometimes it's state, sometimes it's national. I've had to use the Department of Labor, obviously not under Trump, but before. Because the Department of Labor is supposed to represent the citizens against corporations, and now they're spewing Nazisms? This is insanity. This is not normal. And if it scares you, that's okay. This is a historical moment. Look to Minneapolis. You know, if I start getting bummed out, you know what? Those videos of the communities, like a flood. These people don't, it's so beautiful. I was telling my wife the other day, I said, it's so beautiful to watch this. These people don't consider anything, work, school, they drop everything at the drop of a hat because they know what they're defending. They're defending America against the fascist domestic army, personal army for Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Donald Trump. And they're defending their communities. It reminds me, if you've read anything or seen a movie of American founding, Revolutionary War, whatever you want to watch, read about it, this is exactly like that. Exactly. But right now we have Americans as ICE coming into our communities, coming into these are the foreign invaders. ICE are the foreign invaders coming into Minneapolis, and the Minneapolians, what do you call them? Minneapolisians? Minneapolians? I don't know what you call people from Minneapolis. Does anybody know what's it, Marvin? Do you know what you call people from Minneapolis? I don't know. But anyways, to watch the people in Minneapolis come out, drop everything, and come out and defend their communities and tire these ICE out and you know, wear down their egos and exhaust ICE till they're fleeing, that's not only heroic, but that's the most American thing you can do is defend your community against Minnesotans. Yeah, but Minneapolisites, Minnesotans. I'm from Minnesota. I know Minnesotans, but is like, listen, so in Massachusetts, we're Massachusetts. But if you're from Boston, you're a Bostonian. And if you're from Mass, you're just a masshole. But Minneapolites. I like that. Tick. I think that works. Because Minneapolis would have to be Minneapolians. I don't know. That's they're called Winnies. Is that for real, Matt? See, Matt? I like Minneapolites, I'm not gonna lie. Because it has polite in the thing, and Minneapolis is a very polite city. But let's see. Are they called Winnies? Let's look it up. Okay. People from Minneapolis are officially called Minneapolitans. Minneapolitans. So it was so close to, yes, Minneapolitans. Thorne got it. It was close to Minneapolis. Minneapolites. I like Minneapolites. But Matt was right, or close to. He said Winnie, and it says, but the common nickname is often Minnie. Minnie, referring to the city as Minnie or Minneapolis. So the Minis, that makes sense. I like that the best. So the Minis out in Minneapolis and Minnesota are the true spirit of America right now. And whenever you feel scared or down or depressed or like you have no control or like this fascist Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, is saying that they don't have, that no laws apply to them, they have absolute immunity, and that starts to bug you, I want you to watch a video of the Minneapolites, the Minis, the Minnesotans, we'll just call them Minnesotans, because there's more than just people from Minneapolis, I know that. I want you to watch a video of them and just look at how they band together as community. I just want you to appreciate that. It's such a beautiful thing. It's like, you know, watching a flock of birds fly in those crazy ways and just move all together like they were one fluid being. You know, it's like nature at its best. It's so amazing. And remember that it works, you know, because these foreign invaders, ICE, when they come to your city, you know, they're already getting scared of The Hague Part 2, Nuremberg Part 2. They know it's coming once old Chief Queef, you know, his heart kicks out and we're reading that big, beautiful obituary. Oh, 'tis be a good day that day. Wow, there is something that makes the trolls leave beside Rob on the keyboards. You get snow in Boston. I've always wanted to visit. Please come and visit. There's gotta go, Cage. Love you. Keep speaking the good word. I always will. It was good to see you. I ain't seen you in a while, Cage. So very good to see you. Thank you so much for the super chats. Appreciate you, fam. And stay safe out there. And always, always, comrade, you know, keep fighting, keep resisting. Viva la revolution. Empathy equals equality equals peace. 100%. Much respect, Cage. I'm going to wrap up here soon anyways. Hopefully you can join us again. Hopefully you hit the... Oh, and Cage, please join the Discord or re-comment the proposal that you have. I would love to share that. I love this stuff. I love our fucking community here. I love our community. But who was it? Troy Tip. Yes, the next week is going to be snowing every single day. I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready for it. But if you like snow, you want to build a snowman, come to Boston. We're getting snow again. We didn't have it for a while. But the better part of Boston is the history. So if you do come, ensure that you take some time to visit some towns, to visit some places, and learn about the history, because there's a lot of it here. And not just the white history, okay? Especially like when you go to the Boston Commons, I forget who it is. Hold on, Boston Commons, what is it at the Boston Commons? It's not a statue, it's like a, I'll just put in statue, no, not that one, not the MLK statue, the plaque. It's like a huge plaque, I think. Would you call it a plaque? Sorry, I'm trying to work this out. Plaque of Black Regiment. Hold on. Robert Gould Shaw. I knew it. I knew it. I love this. So if you come to Boston, make sure you go to the northeast corner of the Boston Common. And there's a huge, I'm going to take a picture of it and show you tomorrow. So come back tomorrow, Troy. Okay, Currently in Florida, but I'm from Rosendale, Hyde Park. Oh my God, one of my good friends. I was just talking to tonight. Hyde Park. Love Hyde Park. Rozzy. C4, hit subscribe. Love them assholes. I would love to be out protesting in Minneapolis. Unfortunately, I'm exploited labor, and I can't afford to. But trust me, if I could afford to, I'd be there in a heartbeat. So listen, Troy, when you come to Boston, don't just learn about the white history. The black history is so important, almost more important at some points. And there's a famous plaque of the Black Regiment of Robert Gould Shaw and the Massachusetts 54th Regiment Memorial. It is on the edge of the common facing the State House. Yeah, it's up by the State House, and you got to walk up the hill. It commemorates the first African-American regiment to fight for the Union, whose valor at Fort Wagner helped change the Northern opinion on black soldiers and inspired more to enlist. It's an amazing plaque. It's my favorite plaque, I think, in Boston. And it's just inspiring to see, you know, and then you start to learn the history about it. I remember last time I was just staring at it because there's some benches around it and just Googling stuff about it. So, you know, come for the history. Trust no man with pink hair. I would say trust no Tim Pool with no hair, you know? He can't even dye his hair. I'll be protesting at Mar-a-Lago in March with the Sons of Liberty. You should check them out. I love Sons of Liberty. Love that channel. Love Sons of Liberty. I've written him a couple times. He's liked my stuff. And I appreciate the name channel Sons of Liberty. In fact, at one point, God, back in my radio career, I was trying to start a channel called Sons of Liberty. But that has deep historical roots here in Boston too, the Sons of Liberty. Well, C4 knows that. That's amazing. Make sure before you go, you check in with me. Maybe we'll have you on. I can split screen and you can be part of the show. We've done that before with people in France. Darlene in France was talking to us at one point. I'm trying to think who else came on. Oh, I haven't had any. I was trying to get Ken Casey on from the Dropkick Murphys because when I worked in radio, we would always have him over. And when he started speaking out against Trump, I wrote his people and said, "Hey, can Ken come on?" They said, "Well, he just got off tour, but when he starts promoting the album, reach back out." And I just didn't. I just did. I should. I need to. So yeah. So I'm all for having guests on. So C4, just stay in touch. Again, we have a Discord link in the description. If that link is dead tomorrow, I'll make sure I fix it and make it live. Only because they expire. But yeah, C4, let's connect on the Discord or let's connect somewhere. And that way, when you go down there, you jump on the channel, we'll talk to you, we'll see what you guys are doing. I'm all for supporting everybody who is going to resist this fascism. And everybody, we need all hands on deck. Everybody plays a role. Your role is important too, whether it's just speaking up, whether it's just posting something. You know, Robby was joking earlier when I played that video, he's making fun of the Facebook post. But in all seriousness, if that's the extent that you can partake, do it. Remember, that's a threat to this regime. They were kicking out a Norwegian kid for having a JD Vance meme on his phone. So this all affects them. There's nothing too petty for Donald Trump to go after and feel threatened by. Remember, these are egomaniacs, greed monsters. So whatever role you can play in resisting them, do it. Yes, join the Disney. Yeah, CJ's there. Everybody's there. The family is there. The hardcore ones are on the Discord. You clowns trust a man who can't blend his makeup. That is, CJ, that might have been the funniest diss I've heard in a long time. And I'm telling you, I'm stealing that. I'm stealing that. You clowns trust a man who can't blend his own makeup. That is, there are so many layers on that diss that are just beautiful. Beautiful. Much love to you and your family, by the way, CJ. I know we haven't got to chat in a while. This country is like a nightmare, but you can't wake from it. But we will. This is what I'm trying to tell you, Troy. We will wake from this. We just need more people waking up. That's why I do this live stream every day. That's why I veered from just making funny videos to going live and talking about the disassembling of our democracy, the disassembling of our communities, and the blatant fascist attack on all Americans. Not the Proud Boys, you know. But they're not American. The people who brought the Confederate flag into the State House, those aren't Americans. Those are Confederates. Remember? They went to war with us. Fuck them. So there is hope. There is hope. Don't worry. There is hope. Enough people are waking up. And when you think there isn't hope, watch the videos of the minis from Minnesota come out in full force and say, get the fuck out of our communities. That is inspiring, and that is the most American thing you're going to see in your lifetime. I'm telling you. Well, maybe. I don't know what the future holds, actually. Up until now. Let's say that. In your lifetime, in our lifetime, what's happening in Minnesota is akin to the Revolutionary War, is akin to the Patriots during the Revolutionary War saying, these fucking British redcoats are not going to take quarter in our home. This is our home, and we'll defend it any way we can. And they came out in force. That's why I played Tad Stormer earlier. That's why I played these historians for you to understand the context of when the government becomes fascist and leaning towards tyranny, the people stand up and say, fuck you. We'll exhaust you with our organizing. We'll exhaust you because you're coming into our communities, and we live here, and we'll defend it because we got no place to go. This is ours. So remember that, man. Don't be scared. Don't be depressed. Don't be sad. Don't feel like it's a nightmare. It can feel like all that, but understand this is a moment right now. Woke is back, baby. People are waking up. People are waking up right now. An amazing thing. I'm a farming town in Minnesota. Everyone here, corporations poison them. Oh yeah, CJ, maybe if you could grab the Discord link and just share it in the thing, you can. If not, don't worry. I'll change it once. I have to wait for the video to upload. Change it, and if you check the description, once the video uploads, it should be live for the Discord, because I want to make sure anybody that wants to join the Discord can. Okay, because it's a cool spot. We got book clubs, movie clubs, YouTube recommendations, motivational things, memes. I mean, this fucking Discord would be banned by the government, okay? Let's just put it like that. But it's also a cool place to connect outside of the live streams. So, love you, man. I'm out. Keep uniting, stop fighting. Duffy, good to see you. C4, Rad, Troy, Edward. Hope I didn't miss anyone. CJ, I know Alma was here. Yeah, because we got to connect. If C4 is going to protest at Mar-a-Lago, holy shit, we got to talk to you. Can you do a segment on Big Lottery? What's Big Lottery? Like the Mega Millions? What are you talking about? And what would the segment look like? You want me to just read the numbers? I don't understand. But thanks for the comment. But I appreciate I want to do a Luigi Mangione moment when the trials, when we get the updates. We always have a Luigi Mangione moment. I think we should start doing a the more you know moment. You know, bring back the nostalgia for all the older millennials and the Gen X latchkey kids. You know, let's start doing some throwbacks. Discord at Rob Hood Community. Yeah. So if you just check that out. But again, once this is done, in the description where I linked all the videos we played earlier, so please watch them, subscribe to these people. These are informed people teaching you and showing you the way through this. Or at least that's how I look at it. You know, we can learn from the past so we don't make the mistakes in the future. Donald Trump doesn't know dick. You know, he's an idiot. Guy didn't know what the fucking groceries were. Dude's so rich, he's like, groceries? Isn't that an old-fashioned word? I gotta go watch Joe Rogan take an ice bath. Okay, Todd's not gonna clarify the lottery thing. That's what I was waiting for. But other than that, man, have a safe night. All right, be good. And don't lose hope. These are trying times. You know, Donald Trump set tariffs, so all the prices jumped up on us. And then the corporations use that as cover to spike prices anyways, because greedflation is the only inflation. And nobody's pay has kept up with it. We have a K-shaped economy where the wealthy just keep compounding their wealth and the working keep going into working poor. So we can fix this. Taxes work on billionaires. If they didn't, they wouldn't fight against them, okay? They know they work and they don't want you to know that. That's why I talk about things like the Massachusetts Millionaires Tax and how it works. So we can fix these things, but we got to get organized, folks. The wealthy class, the elites are well organized. They're all friends. Look at the Epstein files. They're all friends. Bill Clinton, Richard Branson, Elon, Kimball Musk, Donald Trump. They're all friends and they do nothing good with their money. So we need to get organized. Part of that is hitting subscribe, hitting the notification bell. Edward, thanks, Rob. You always light my mood. I chill watching you. Oh, man, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. I love you guys. I'm so grateful for the community we're building. And it's good to have people in times like this, you know? Rad, hope is to believe with no good reason. Amen. Damn, Rad really speaking my language. I'm very glad you stopped in tonight. I'm very, very, very stoked that the mass holes from across the nation are coming out. C4, you too. Edward, you're not a mass hole, but you're one in heart. Thanks, Robin. Everyone, take care. Good to see you, Thorne. CJ, billionaires do not put money back into our communities. We, the people, do. And on that, we'll end it. Thank you, CJ. Appreciate you guys. Power without responsibility is just tyranny. Troy, goddamn. I love this chat tonight. You guys are on fire. Todd, I asked what you meant. You said, can I do a segment on Big Lottery? And I said, what? Read the Mega Millions numbers? I don't understand. Or do you mean like how the lottery, if you don't know the lottery, let's say it's 100 million right now. You would only, if you took the cash, it would probably be like 40 million. Which there's something going on. I was watching some YouTuber or some lawyer who specializes in the lottery and how the banks hold the money. And it turns out that now the lottery winnings are dwindling because of whatever the fuck's going on in our country. Because it used to be if the Mega Millions was at 100 million, you would get like 70 million on a lump sum payout. And now it's like 40. I know our Massachusetts, the local lotteries don't have such a drastic gap in it, but I didn't know what you meant. $1 billion out of circuit, how it's set up. Oh, interesting. Okay, Todd, you know what? I might look into it. I appreciate that comment. That's what I just wanted clarification. That's all. Dude, you really need a job in a shower. I love when guys come in here and want to see me shower. Buddy, I'm not Joe Rogan. Go to Joe Rogan. You could go watch him do an ice bath. Get the fuck out of here. Okay? Adults are speaking. Jesus. All right. CJ, much love. Be safe, guys. Peace.